Want to know the secret to really easy creme brulee? There's only two things that you're going to maybe have to make sure you have. One is a high-speed blender, and the other is really good vanilla, only because there's only 4 ingredients. They're really mild in taste. So this is where the vanilla that you're adding matters, okay? So of the choices that there are, you could go, this would be the bottom choice, and you can get this at grocery stores now. The next best would be maybe something like this. You can get this online. It's pretty good. I just decant it into a small squeeze bottle, so I'm not dealing with the whole quart. Or the best in the world, of course, in my opinion, this is the one I was taught to use at the restaurant. They're great vanilla beans from Tahiti. However, vanilla in the taste is similar to coffee. You might have a totally different flavor than mine. The only thing I wouldn't do here is add just plain vanilla extract. You can, but you're going to have a much more muted vanilla taste, okay? So this is a place to go for the best. And I really can't recommend grocery store vanilla beans because they're so dried out, it's very, very difficult to get any of the little seeds, or we call it caviar, inside of a bean. So let me show you. I store mine in pure vanilla extract because it keeps because it keeps them so nice and plump and pliable. And then the bean further flavors or enhances the taste of the vanilla extract. Onto your cutting board. You only need one. So just take your finger and pin the bean down. Take a little paring knife and just make a split all the way through. You can see that caviar wanting to jump out because these beans are so plump. So this is what we're talking about, this good gooey stuff. What it is it's just millions and millions of seeds. And those pack an enormous amount of flavor. We want every one of them. Open it up, get your knife in there, and just run it down the length of it. And see all that goodness? That's what we want to go into the blender carafe. Here we go. Add 2 1/4 cups of heavy cream. It can't be half and half. It needs to be heavy cream. Heavy whipping cream. It has a few different names. It needs to be at least 36% butterfat. 4 ounces or a half cup of granulated sugar. It's not very much, but that's just how creme brulee is. The rest of the sweetness comes later. And then you want 10 egg yolks. So save those egg whites, and maybe that's a great place to make the meringue. All right, so that's it for our ingredients. When you're going to turn your blender on, you really can't walk away. It's about 6.5 minutes until it's at the temperature where it's ready to pour. Remember, a high-speed blender with friction cooks. So it's going to actually blend and also heat up this mixture and actually do all of the cooking, so that all you have to do afterwards is pour it into the little ramekins. But you can't walk away from it, or you gotta stay close, because you gotta use a thermometer to know exactly what the temperature is inside, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we're gonna turn it on the highest speed, and then just stay close, and in 6 minutes or so, your creme brulee will be ready. So here we go. So it's just hit 180, and is immediately take off that lid because you have to pour it right away. So have your ramekins ready, pour them right to the rim. This will start to set up almost immediately. See how silky that is? It's airy and light. Oh, and another bonus, when you're pouring like this, you could actually have put like cut up strawberries, raspberries, bananas, anything underneath there, and you'll have a little creme brulee surprise. As soon as you've poured them all, I'm going to give each one of them a tap to settle it, make it level, and pop some of the air bubbles. You don't need to worry about too many of them, but just a little tap. See how it pops them? And it makes the whole dish settle. Okay, now they go into the fridge till they're chilled. That could last you could keep them in there for a couple of days. This is the best way I know to burn the creme brulee tops. This is how I was taught in the restaurant to do it, and it's so easy. You just use granulated sugar, and then you need a blowtorch. And please don't buy the little tiny kitchen torches. They're kind of a toy, and it's so hard to get the burning done that it's a little frustrating, and it tends to heat up the custard. Custard's nice. Well, that's what creme brulee is in the custard family, but it's nice and set now because it's chilled. So all you're going to do is shake on a layer of sugar, not too thick, not too thin. Let me show you. So just go around it. I've got it on a rack on a sheet pan because we're going to be using fire, of course. And you want the layer to be about like that. You can burn more than one layer. So if you love the crunchy top, you can do it more than one time. And then you want a good blowtorch like this. It's got an on-off. I like that about it. But it has the power, which is what I really like. And then it also has a continual stay on when you press this button. So when you light it, it's going to stay on. So you want this straight up and down. I'm holding it like this. I'm going to come down to the sugar, and I'm not going to move the torch until I like the color of the sugar, which should be an amber color in color. So watch. Just go down to the top of it, and don't move it until you like the color. Now, to make it another layer, I like 2 layers. We're just going to do the exact same thing. Another layer of sugar. You can also do this by hand. You can just, let me show you on another one. You can just take that lid off, and then you can literally just do it like this too. Just a sprinkle, but it's good to have it up elevated because of the heat, of course, but also it'll catch any extra sugar that goes overboard. And also, if you get a pile like that and you're like, oh, that's too deep, just tap it and shake your little ramekin like that, and that'll even it out. You can even do it with a finger. And now we burn. If you don't like yours this dark, you can hold the torch a little further away and go a little bit slower. You can see that this one is quite a bit lighter than this one. This is the color I like, but if you like it lighter, just hold your torch a little bit further away. Let's go one more layer. If you only want one layer, that's fine. So now you've got to set these aside for at least 5 minutes until this shell hardens, because obviously it's molten liquid sugar right now. So you don't want to touch this right now. If you're not ready to serve them, these could go back into the fridge for about 2 hours. Any longer than that, and the moisture from the brulee part, the custard down below, starts to kind of liquefy and melt the sugar. It still tastes wonderful like that caramelized sugar, but you'll lose that wonderful crunch that creme brulee is known for when you crack through that layer of sugar. So once that topping has hardened into that crackly crust, this is the best part about creme brulee. Just smack it with the back of your spoon. See how it breaks it? And then you're going to get a bite of that lovely custard with the burnt topping in every bite. And it is so perfectly good. Greg is going to love this. This is for you, honey. It is so damn good. The perfect vanilla taste. It's creamy. It's not overly sweet. I love how smooth it is, and it's almost aerated from the blender in the best way. Oh my God. This dessert will never go out of style. It is classic. Mmm. Here's to you. Yum.